Yeah, no, there's been a lot of build up for this record. You know, a lot of hard work that went into it, a lot of growth that's happened during the process of recording it, and even, you know, just listening back to it since it's been a finished project. It's definitely the most proud I've ever felt of anything that I've created.
I wonder when, in listening to this record, and every album serves a purpose, and every song and everything you try to achieve creatively will lead you to a destination like this, but is this the closest we've really come to actually knowing what your voice really sounds like in this kind of environment where you get to just lean into the craft in a different way, away from perhaps all of the modern accoutrements of production and performance?
Yeah, definitely. I think that was, you know, the intention behind this entire record. I wanted to really step into, you know, my voice, my ability, my writing. And I really focused on them things. And one of the main things I wanted was for it to remain as raw and as untouched as possible in terms of, you know, like the effects and all the glitz and glam that you usually get with like high production stuff. I wanted to, keep away from that and just keep it as genuine to the way that I sound on, you know, just a microphone.
Which is how I imagine it came together. When I started listening to this album, bro, I was like, what an amazing and fun experience this must have been to start to ideate and create, because it just sounds like you and no one else. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I had this image in my head of when you started making this record, however long ago it was, that no one was interrupting you, and it really was just you trying to figure out what you wanted to say.
Definitely, yeah. That was, you know, the intention behind even, you know, where I'm at geographically in the world, where I'm living. I wanted to, you know, keep away from the noise and just really be able to focus on my record and, you know, focus on being a dad, looking after my daughter. So yeah, there was time, you know, that I got to spend on my record. And when I was spending that time, because it was meaning I was away from my child, it was even more important to me that it had to be perfect. And
you were prepared, right? So you made the most of your time.
Exactly, because I'm making the most of the time. I'm away from my daughter. It might as well be for something good, you know what I mean? I might as well put in the good graft. So I think that definitely pushed me in that regard. But yeah, like you said, undisturbed, you know what I mean? I'm out here in the sticks, and I love the way it is. It's real calm and peaceful out here.
What is life like out there, bro? I mean, we're not going to put a pin in the map, put it on the internet, but what is life like out wherever you are, you know?
What do you mean? What is life like in general?
What is life like out in the middle of nowhere, bro? Well, I'll lead into it nicely, man. I'm in the middle of Manhattan, and
okay,
you know what that feels like. So,
yeah.
So what is the contrasting experience for you?
It's just, the time moves a bit slower, you know? I get to move at my own pace and really like concentrate on the things I enjoy, you know? And it's not always music, you know? I like painting, I like cooking, I like just taking my time with things, you know what I mean? There's not really like a lot of space for that in the city. Everything's a bit hectic, everything's on the go all the time. So I guess it's just that, you know what I mean? The busyness of the way things feel and the hecticness of everything, the erraticness.
See, this is the thing. I really feel like now we're truly understanding that what's important to you is the process, the care you get to put into something, not the actual result.
Definitely, yeah. I'm all about the journey, not the end goal. I'm not here for no medals or achievements. I just want to get better at what I'm doing, you know?
A life-serving curiosity, huh?
Yeah, for sure. You can put it that way. That's very well put.
I'm really beautifully sort of impressed with this, with the songwriting and the wordplay and the storytelling and the honesty you're putting into this record.
Appreciate that.
Where did it start? What was the first song on this album that you really felt, okay, this is the soulful center of what I'm trying to achieve here?
Yeah, so the first record I actually wrote was Alienated, which is the single that's out at the minute. And I wrote that first, and then that kind of cemented the idea that this was, you know, a realm that I was comfortable with and something I wanted to experiment with. And I lent into it more on some of the tracks on the record that haven't even been released yet. Started finding my identity more, but it was Alienated that really got the ball rolling, and gave me that space where I was like, oh yeah, this is something I can actually do, you know, and it feels comfortable and natural natural for me.
When you were writing Alienated or starting to actually arrange these songs, was it you with the guitar? Were you just kind of trying to formulate and write them yourself?
Pretty much, yeah. Me with, anything I could get my hands on. So I was listening to a little bit of YouTube, random beats off YouTube, a bit of guitar somebody else was playing. Then I'd play a drum, just write to the drum. Because I'm self-professed, I'm a vocalist, you know what I mean? I don't think I'm the savvy dude when it comes to every instrument, but I'm learning. I'm just a bit late to the game when I started playing instruments, so I'm not the best when it comes to recording.
You're right on time. You're right on time.
I appreciate it.
So was there a particular time or a particular environment that you felt you were drawn to where these songs really made themselves available to you? Like, how did you factor it into your life? Because as you've said, you built this beautiful life for yourself where you've got your priorities in check. You've got the space where you can focus on family, focus on being a dad, focus on feeding your soul. So how did you work music back into this newfound joy of life?
Yeah, no, it was really interesting because for a minute, I kind of lost inspiration when it came to like listening to other people's music, I wasn't really gravitating towards anything that I was hearing that was, within a realm that I was, practicing, and I was getting inspired by like hip hop records. Rap's always an amazing, inspiring genre. I feel like there's always people pushing the boundary and stuff, but with the type of music I was listening to, I wasn't finding anything new. I was just listening to all the old classic music for a while. And then I came across Chris Stapleton, and he'd been big for a minute, I think, anyway. Everybody had already known about him, but I don't really follow things like that, so I just heard it myself. And I had a couple of vinyls of his, and I really got into his records and his style of singing and his writing and his just tenacity for music. He's just a legend.
He's such a courageous writer as well. I think about that song Either Way. Do you know that song?
Oh yeah, all of his songs. He's so vulnerable and still so like masculine, and I think that's something that's missing,
Like, it has to be one of the most brutal breakup lines I've ever heard in a song. I won't love you either way.
Exactly, yeah. No, there's some brutal lines throughout a lot of his records. And he's a really gifted writer, so it inspired me again. And I started thinking in that space myself, and was thinking, is there something that I could do, that was still me, that would be somewhat in this lane. And I think that's what got me, into that place and being like, oh yeah, this is something I want to do and have a go at.
Must have been so rewarding for you. You started your journey in a harmony of 5 singers, and you found your own voice at the end of that era. And then ever since then, I feel like you've been searching for the flaws in your voice. That the idea of perfection in performance, which is instilled in young people now, like put it on the grid and make it sound flawless. It's like, wait, where's the crack? Where's the break? Where's the moment? What did you learn about your ability to perform and sing, given that I hear a ton of flaws, and I mean that as a compliment, really beautiful flaws on this album?
Yeah, no, the intention behind the record was that I wanted it to feel raw, So when I was recording things, as I was writing them, I didn't go and recut vocals over and over again. And the intention behind that is, look, I've had these songs now for a long period of time, and I've sung these songs with, the tracks. And the place that I'm at with these songs now to sing these songs live, they're going to sound better live than I do on the record because of that. By the way,
a totally underrated element of the entire experience. Most people perfect things in the studio and strive to recreate it on stage. Go the other way. Put the raw in front of
slowly
us.
Progress it. And I feel that way you can ease into it and get confident with it, you know what I mean? As you slowly learn the songs yourself rather than trying to give a perfected version, because these songs were raw, they came from this place of real emotion and things that I was going through in my life. And I wanted the vocal to reflect that too, like the emotion behind what I was feeling at that moment, rather than it being a perfect vocal. I went for the emotion and the conviction behind what I was saying.
I love
it. And the vocal can always improve, that's just practice and knowing the songs more. So that's why I went with it that way for sure.
Yeah, I love it. What song on the album was the hardest one for you to sing, because you really felt like you had cracked open something and you knew it had to live and had to exist, and this was the album to put it on, but it didn't make it any easier for you to finish and let go of?
You know what? I didn't feel like that with any of the music on this record. I feel like that's just a testament to where I'm at in my life right now. I feel like I've done a lot of growing. Spiritually, just as a human, without sounding too cliche.
No, it's not cliche. We need to talk about this shit because we barely grow.
I just don't want to be the person that sat here like, I've gone on a spiritual retreat and I figured myself out.
Bro, it's really important.
But it's not like that. It's just natural growth. It's real life things have happened to me, and I've grown up a lot. And I've learned different ways to approach things. And with this record, like we were talking about with Chris Stapleton a second ago, like there's a real power behind being vulnerable, and being honest and communicating with other human beings. And I think the thing I've learned the most in the last few years is if you can really communicate with people, the reception and response you get from other human beings will surprise you. If you're a closed book and you feel like you're standoffish with people, then people instantly feel like there's something wrong or they should press more or whatever. And I feel like if you're open with people and you're just honest, the response you get from people, like I said, will surprise you, and in a positive way. You'll get some good feedback that can actually help you out in life rather than just being closed off.
Wow, because I've always enjoyed meeting with you or talking with you, but I've definitely had that feeling from you that as much as I would like to open up, it's just not in me to do so. Would you say that, in previous elements and areas of your life that you were a closed book, that you recognized that you had the ability to put the armor up?
Yeah, definitely, man. I had trust issues for the longest time, I think, with anybody and everyone. And that's just the way I was, the way I was raised, where I come from. Bradford teaches you to be wary, so that's just, a development and a growth that, where I'm at in my life and the type of people I'm dealing with and the people I'm having conversations with. It's not a negative thing. It's for a positive reason. These people, we're all on the same team. We're all trying to do the same thing. So I'm very blessed and grateful for the position that I'm in and the job that I get to do. At 31 years of age, I have a complete new appreciation to be able to even do this as for a living. And just have this as a job. It's ridiculous. So I have a different level of gratefulness,
I think that really impacts your ability as well to be able to guide and to lead. And I do get a sense of real guidance on this album, not in terms of what you were searching for to achieve, but also the role that you now have embraced and accepted in life, which is to be a father. And I love getting a sense that without being direct through lyrics necessarily or trying to uncover any sort of direct reference points, that the spirit of that experience is on this record. Am I wrong?
Yeah, no, definitely. That's there's a lot of that throughout, my viewpoint, and I justify my viewpoint through that a lot in a lot of things that I'm saying in the songs. I'm saying that I've grown due to this responsibility that I've accepted, and this is now, shaping and pushing me to the decisions that I'm making now as a grown man.
Wow, hold on tight, bro. It goes by so quick.
It does.
So
I'm trying to slow down the clock. I'm going to be honest, she's growing up real fast, man. It's kind of sad when you think about it.
It really is. You know what? It's a really happy sadness. It's like
it is, yeah.
It's the most
fully that, yeah.
It's such a complicated combination of feelings because on the one hand, you're so grateful and proud they're growing, healthy, and getting to do things.
Exactly.
But on the other hand, man, selfishly, it gives us such joy, and our identity just becomes right. How much has your identity changed since you became a dad? It just changes everything.
I wouldn't say my identity's changed. I think just the way that I approach things is different. I think the thing that children teach you above anything is patience, and they're looking through these brand new lenses at everything with such curiosity and excitement, and it's hard not to be infectious. It's helped me be a lot more positive in my life.
Which is a real achievement, Zane, because you've been exposed to a really thrashy, really intense side of life. You've seen life at its most unpredictable, and I'm sure at times it felt completely out of control. And so then you have to sort of figure out how you can actually maintain the innocence and build on that innocence that happens in your family. How have you been able to separate your experiences from the moment, from the present day?
Past experiences?
Yeah, to not have those hang around you like a weight on your ankle.
I think, with growth comes a new perspective, and when you look at things at different times throughout your life, you look at things in a different way. People could say that, I gave off the approach that it was, I gave off the vibe that, it was something to do with the band that was affecting me at that time. And it could have just been the way I was anyway, you know what I mean? I was at that time in place in my life where I just felt that way. There were a lot of great things happening, and I had a lot of fun. And now when I look back at that, as a grown-up man, I see that there was missed opportunity there for me, to have more fun. But I also look at it and think, I did have a lot of fun too. And I'm really grateful for the experience I had with the lads in the band. And I think we did some amazing things that I'm really proud of in my life, and also with having a daughter, and now I've got a niece and I've got a nephew. My niece is 4 years old and she loves One Direction. Like, she watches all of our old stuff, and she just thinks I'm the coolest person ever because I was in One Direction. So to me, I'm like, yo, this has got a whole new level of cool street cred with the young ones, you know what I mean? So I'm really grateful, man, and proud that I was involved, you know what I mean? I look at it in a different way now.
From her mouth to God's ears, man. Seriously, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Seriously. There's so many great songs on this album. I don't even know where to begin. I mean, you heard me playing Something in the Water when you picked up the phone, or you called us, and I love that song. That to me is really, it's I love what you're singing about, but I also love how effortless it feels. Did that one, you were in a groove when that one came out, right? You were on a wave when that one came out.
Something in the Water, yeah, yeah, it's a good song. Yeah, it's more in my usual pocket too, the type of R&B music I usually do. So you can probably feel that too, that I'm more comfortable there. You know what I'm saying? I'm still finding my feet in this
genre. But you're tearing it up still. And that's what I love about it, is it's all very torn in a really great way. And at times, I mean, there's one song in particular where the anger is just dripping. It's falling out of you, right? Which is Gates of Hell. How was that to record?
Gates of Hell. Yeah, that was a fun one to record. I was listening to this band called Bird Cloud, and they're like an indie group. There's just two girls that sing, and a lot of their records, they're basically just like, you can tell they have a few drinks and they just give their emotion, like they just keep it as raw as possible.
My boy right here, my producer, knows this band because he's just like super
all right,
about
cool.
This right
so that was something that inspired a lot of the intention behind the record for me. I was listening to them and they're really fearless, and it feels super genuine because of it. So that's what I wanted to do with that record. They say some crazy things in their lyrics, like mine's not even close. Mine's like PG version, you know what I mean? I say, I don't like you very much, but I'm still putting up with you. Like, there's a lot worse.
Get yourself, you
could have said, but it got the sentiment across, you know what I'm saying? And that was the intention behind it. Yeah, just for it to feel very like kind of messy, like I'm out, I've had a few drinks and I'm just telling you exactly how I feel.
So we got to talk about live, because by the time that we're having this conversation, you put Shepherd's Bush on. So you're stepping out onto, and for those people around the world that don't know, Shepherd's Bush Empire, it's a real box to tick when you're an artist. It's a beautiful, beautiful theater that goes higher than it goes wider or deeper. And it gives off the sense of a timeless place to perform. So I know that, we've got Alienated the live take, but this is going to be different. This is going to feel different. And I can imagine you're more excited about performing now than ever before, given the nature of this album.
Yeah, definitely. This record fully leans itself to that space. It gives it breathes that. So I feel like it's only going to be elevated. Like I said, I know the song's better than when I recorded them, so I feel like the vocals will be good. And I'm confident and excited. I'm in a different headspace.
Well, I want to stop you there and talk about that, because we've known each other since you left the band, and
yeah.
It's
a while now.
A while now, right? And your talent and your ability and your love for music has never been in question. But what's been challenging, and I know this, is executing sometimes on these things. You know, releasing the music, and in particular performing the music. When did you start to come to grips with that and actually start to stare that in the face and understand it, acknowledge, accept it for what it was, and realize that you could actually get past that to the point of enjoying performing again?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things, you know. I think it's, again, you know, where I'm at in my life. I feel like I'm a grown man, and like responsibility is something that I'm taking, you know, pride in. And if I say I want to do something, then my words should be as strong as my actions, you know. I want to be able to back things up, and, you know, approach things in that kind of manner. Aside from that, I feel like this is my profession at this point. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm pretty good at it. And I don't feel like I have too much to be worried about. You know what I mean? I feel like I just built a lot of fears and expectations up in my mind.
What would happen when you were faced with the prospect of performing live?
I was overthinking this perfected idea of a vocal, you know what I mean? Like, am I going to be able to sound as good as I do on the record? Is this the kind of music that I really want to be performing? Is this my kind of energy? Like, am I going to throw in a few dance moves in there like Chris Brown and do a backflip? Like, because that was the kind of music that I'm releasing, right? And I just didn't feel that I slotted into that place as a performer. I couldn't envision it.
Can you even do a backflip?
No, I can't. No, I'm just saying it's not my flex, right? I'm not that dude. I'm going to stand there with a microphone and sing. So I needed music that was going to allow me to do that. And I feel like this record does that, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like I'm in the right place.
So what does it do to some of your other songs? I mean, you now...
I can still put other songs in the set list around my newer music, you know what I mean, and make it that kind of show. But I'm not going to be singing like the high energy tracks, I don't think, because it's not really me, like, as a person.
Pillow Talk, just as an example,
Talk
will sound great.
Yeah, Pillow Talk has to go on. Well, obviously, it's my biggest hit, I think. So Pillow Talk has to go on the set, yeah.
But it will lend itself beautifully to this environment. And I think you're right. I think you've actually opened the canvas up for all the songs to be friends with each other.
Yeah, and we can do them in different ways, you know what I mean? Like, they don't have to necessarily sound exactly like the record. It can sound like a live version, which I'm cool with.
Yeah. Wow, what a beautiful time to hang out and talk with you. Even in this kind of distant way, because, you know, to see you come to this really wonderful place of balance, you know, in terms of like who you were and who you are today, most importantly, really, it's like your future must feel... I mean, does the light shine brighter than ever before right now? Does it really feel like...
for sure. Yeah, definitely. Again, without sounding cliche, yeah, I'm in a really good place, man. I'm really happy. And like you just, you know, hinting to there, the possibilities are, you know, endless if I'm in the right frame of mind, I think, for myself. I feel like I've accepted, you know, this is something that, like I said earlier, I'm pretty good at. I've got a bit of talent when it comes to singing. And, you know, all the other things in life we're all trying to figure out day by day anyway, you know, personality traits.
You're not alone, mate. You're not alone.
How to be a good human and all that, you know what I'm saying? So I'm learning, you know what I mean? And I don't think I was a bad place to start with, but I feel like I'm at a much better place now, you know what I mean, in terms of being an effective person when it comes to working my business too, you know what I mean? Effectively, it is a business and this is my job. And I feel like I'm in the right place to represent who I am, you know what I mean, and who I want to be.
Did it help being so open on the Call Her Daddy podcast? Looking back on that now, did you feel like that was it good for you at the end of it? I know it was clear watching it while you were doing it and how you wanted to just like, look, let's just get in front of this and have a conversation, a human conversation about people are talking about anyway. So we may as well talk about a one-on-one, right? And she's very, very good at that.
She is, yeah. No, she's a great interviewer. But I'd seen, you know, a couple of her interviews before, and I felt like it was a good place for me to go have a conversation because I felt like I was in that space to have an open conversation without it feeling too premeditated or scripted or anything weird. You know what I mean? Too many bright lights, just us sat on the couch, just having a convo.
How did you feel at the end of it? How did it change you? How did you feel changed at the end of that in terms of because when you communicate, you let go and it would create space for good things. So how did you feel at the end of it?
No, I felt good. I felt like it was received well. I felt like I got to show, who I am and have a real conversation. I'm a real person. I feel like I'm still pretty grounded, considering everything that's happened in my life and the success I've had. I'm still pretty with it, and I'm a normal person, and I just wanted to show that that's where I'm at the most comfortable, just in a normal environment, just sitting down talking to somebody one-on-one, having a genuine conversation.
How many animals do you have on the farm now?
I have quite a few chickens now. I have like 11 chickens, and that's the only thing that's extended.
Can you catch one?
Can I catch one? I don't need to catch them. They're good. They're in like a open area. They walk around, do their thing.
I don't know. I mean, they say they're really hard to catch with bare hands.
No, we don't need to catch them. We just feed them. They're really cool. The ones that I've had for a while are real friendly with me now. They know me well. They come right up to me and stuff. But the new ones are a bit skittish still. They don't trust me yet.
Dude, I've missed you, man. It's good to see you. Love you, bro. Good to see you.
I love you too.